Top 25 Risk Manager Interview Questions and Answers. In the competitive field of risk management, preparing for an interview requires a solid understanding of key concepts and potential questions. This video highlights the top 25 interview questions that candidates may face during their risk manager interviews. Along with the questions, we will provide insightful answers to help you articulate your thoughts effectively. Whether you are a seasoned professional or new to the field, this guide will enhance your interview readiness. 1. What is your experience with enterprise risk management, frameworks like CSOSO or ISO 31000? My experience with enterprise risk management, frameworks includes implementing COSO and ISO 31000 methodologies within organizations. I have utilized COSO's integrated framework to enhance internal controls and align risk management with strategic objectives, ensuring effective governance. With ISO 31000, I focused on establishing a risk management process that emphasizes continuous improvement and stakeholder involvement. This has allowed me to create a structured approach for identifying, assessing, and mitigating risks while fostering a risk-aware culture across various departments. 2. How do you identify and assess potential risks in a new project? Identifying and assessing potential risks in a new project involves several key steps. First, I conduct a thorough analysis of the project's scope, objectives, and stakeholders to understand the context. Next, I facilitate brainstorming sessions with team members and stakeholders, encouraging open discussions to surface potential risks. I also utilize risk assessment tools such as SWOT analysis and risk matrices. Once identified, each risk is evaluated based on its likelihood and potential impact, allowing prioritization for further action. Continuous monitoring ensures that new risks are detected throughout the project lifecycle. 3. What tools or software do you use for risk analysis and mitigation? Several tools and software are essential for effective risk analysis and mitigation. Commonly used platforms include RiskWatch and Logic Manager, which facilitate risk assessment, tracking, and reporting. Additionally, Microsoft Excel is a versatile tool for creating risk matrices and dashboards. For quantitative analysis, Monte Carlo simulation software like at RISK is invaluable. Many organizations also employ GRC, governance, risk, compliance, platforms such as RSA Archer or MetricStream to integrate risk management functions across departments, ensuring a structured approach to identifying, assessing, and mitigating risks. 4. Can you explain the difference between inherent risk and residual risk? Inherent risk refers to the level of risk that exists in the absence of any controls or mitigating measures. It is the natural risk associated with a particular activity or process before any interventions are applied. On the other hand, residual risk is the remaining risk after controls have been implemented. This is the risk that an organization accepts after taking steps to reduce inherent risk through risk management strategies. Understanding this distinction is crucial as it helps organizations assess their risk exposure and determine appropriate risk mitigation strategies tailored to their specific contexts. 5. Describe the process of conducting a risk assessment from start to finish. Conducting a risk assessment involves several key steps. First, identify and define the scope of the assessment, including the objectives and context. Next, identify potential risks by gathering information through brainstorming sessions, interviews, and document reviews. Then, analyze the identified risks by evaluating their likelihood and impact, often using qualitative and quantitative methods. Afterward, prioritize the risks based on this analysis. Finally, develop mitigation strategies for high-priority risks, document the findings, and communicate the results to stakeholders for ongoing monitoring and review. 6. How do you evaluate the effectiveness of existing risk controls? Evaluating the effectiveness of existing risk controls involves a systematic approach. First, I assess the performance metrics established for each control, comparing them against expected outcomes. Regular audits and testing help identify gaps and areas for improvement. Engaging with stakeholders through surveys or interviews can provide insights into control functionality and user experience. Additionally, I analyze incident reports and response times to measure control effectiveness. This continuous feedback loop ensures that risk controls remain relevant and adaptive to changing risk environments. 7. What role does quantitative analysis play in your risk management strategy? Quantitative analysis provides a structured approach to evaluating risks by using numerical data and mathematical models. It helps in measuring potential impacts and likelihoods, enabling informed decision-making. By leveraging statistical techniques, organizations can prioritize risks based on their severity and probability, allowing for effective allocation of resources. This data-driven insight aids in forecasting future risks and assessing the effectiveness of risk controls. Ultimately, quantitative analysis enhances transparency and supports evidence-based strategies that align with an organization's risk appetite. 8. How do you prioritize risks based on impact and likelihood? Prioritizing risks involves assessing each risk's potential impact on the organization and its likelihood of occurrence. First, I categorize risks using a risk matrix, which allows me to visualize how risks align based on their severity and probability. High impact and high likelihood risks receive immediate attention, while low impact risks may be monitored more casually. Additionally, I consult with stakeholders and use historical data to inform my assessments. Regular reviews ensure that priorities adjust as new information or changes in the environment arise. This structured approach helps allocate resources effectively. 9. What's your experience with key risk indicators, KRs, and key performance indicators, KPIs? Key risk indicators, KRs, and key performance indicators, KPIs, are essential components of monitoring risk and performance. I have utilized KRs to proactively identify potential risks by establishing thresholds that signal when action is needed. For instance, in a previous role, I developed a KRI dashboard that tracked operational efficiency and compliance metrics. KPIs helped measure success against strategic objectives, allowing for adjustments in strategy when necessary. Regularly reviewing these indicators ensures alignment with business goals while enhancing risk management practices across the organization. 10. How do you develop and monitor a risk register? A risk register is developed through a systematic process that begins with identifying risks through brainstorming sessions, interviews, and workshops with stakeholders. Each identified risk is assessed for its likelihood and potential impact, allowing for prioritization. The register includes details such as risk descriptions, owners, mitigation strategies, and monitoring methods. Regular updates are essential. This involves reviewing risks periodically, adjusting for new threats, and tracking the effectiveness of mitigation measures. Engaging stakeholders and ensuring transparency promotes accountability and enhances the risk management process. 11. What are the main regulatory risks companies face in our industry? Companies in our industry face a variety of regulatory risks, including compliance with financial regulations, data privacy laws, and industry-specific standards. Regulatory changes can impact operations significantly, especially regarding reporting requirements and corporate governance. Fines and reputational damage may result from non-compliance, making it critical to maintain up-to-date knowledge of applicable regulations. Additionally, companies must navigate cross-border regulations, which can complicate operations in multiple jurisdictions. Establishing strong compliance programs and regular training helps mitigate these risks effectively. 12. How do you stay updated on changes in regulatory compliance? Staying updated on changes in regulatory compliance requires a proactive approach. I regularly engage with industry publications, subscribe to newsletters from relevant regulatory bodies, and participate in forums and webinars. Networking with other professionals in the field helps share insights and best practices. I also utilize compliance management software that tracks regulatory changes, ensuring my team and I are aware of new requirements. Continuous education, such as attending workshops or obtaining certifications, further enhances my understanding of evolving compliance landscapes. 13. Can you give an example of a time you ensured compliance during a high-risk situation? One significant instance occurred during a merger when we faced stringent regulatory scrutiny. I led a cross-functional team to conduct a thorough compliance review of both organizations. We identified potential breaches in data handling practices that could expose us to fines. By implementing a robust compliance framework and conducting training sessions for staff, we ensured everyone understood the new protocols. Our proactive measures not only satisfied regulators but also instilled confidence in stakeholders, demonstrating our commitment to ethical practices in a challenging environment. 14. How do you manage cross-border or international risk exposure? Managing cross-border or international risk exposure involves a comprehensive understanding of diverse regulatory environments, cultural differences, and market dynamics. First, I conduct thorough risk assessments to identify specific risks associated with different jurisdictions, including political, economic, and compliance risks. Developing strong relationships with local partners and stakeholders is crucial for gaining insights and navigating complexities. I implement robust monitoring systems to track changes in regulations and market conditions continuously. Effective communication with all relevant parties ensures everyone understands potential risks and mitigative measures, creating a proactive risk management strategy. 15. How do you align risk management with business objectives? Aligning risk management with business objectives requires a comprehensive understanding of the organization's goals and strategic direction. Start by engaging with stakeholders to identify key objectives and the associated risks that may impact them. Develop a framework that integrates risk assessment into the decision-making process, ensuring that risk considerations are embedded in project planning and execution. Regularly review and update risk management strategies in response to changing business environments and objectives. This alignment fosters a proactive approach, enhancing resilience and enabling the organization to seize opportunities while effectively managing potential threats. 16. Describe a time when risk analysis directly impacted a strategic business decision. In a previous role, our team identified a significant market entry risk due to regulatory changes that could impact product compliance. Through rigorous risk analysis, we projected potential financial losses and operational delays. This analysis led senior management to delay the launch, allowing time for further research and adjustment to our product strategy. As a result, We successfully navigated the regulatory landscape, ensuring compliance and ultimately achieving a smoother entry into the market, which enhanced our competitive position. 17. How do you communicate risk exposure to senior leadership or the board? Communicating risk exposure requires clarity and brevity. I start by tailoring the message to align with the interests of senior leadership or board members. Utilizing visual aids, like charts or dashboards, can effectively illustrate the risk landscape. I prioritize key risks based on their potential impact and likelihood, providing actionable insights and recommendations. Regular updates and open dialogue foster trust and ensure decision-makers are informed. By framing risks in the context of business objectives, I help leadership understand the implications and necessary actions for effective risk management. 18. What role should a risk manager play during a financial crisis or economic downturn? During a financial crisis or economic downturn, a risk manager should act as a strategic advisor, focusing on both short-term and long-term implications of risks. They should analyze emerging risks, assess financial impacts, and recommend adjustments to risk management strategies. Collaborating with various departments is crucial for identifying vulnerabilities and ensuring that risk mitigation efforts align with business objectives. Clear communication with stakeholders is essential to facilitate informed decision-making and promote a culture of resilience, enabling the organization to navigate challenges effectively. 19. Tell me about a time when you identified a risk others overlooked. What did you do? In a previous project, I noticed that the rapid expansion into a new market was creating potential regulatory compliance risks, which many team members had dismissed. I conducted a thorough analysis of local laws and regulations, highlighting discrepancies that could lead to penalties. I presented my findings to leadership, emphasizing the importance of addressing these risks early. We then established a compliance task force that worked alongside the expansion team, ensuring all legal requirements were met. This proactive approach not only mitigated potential fines but also strengthened our reputation in the new market. 20. Describe a situation where your risk mitigation plan failed. How did you handle it? In one instance, our team implemented a risk mitigation plan for a new software deployment. Unfortunately, unforeseen compatibility issues arose, causing significant delays. Instead of shifting blame, I organized a meeting with stakeholders to assess the situation transparently. We evaluated the root causes and quickly established a task force to address the compatibility problems. By maintaining open communication and adjusting our timeline, we managed to realign expectations and ultimately completed the project successfully. This experience reinforced the importance of adaptive planning and proactive stakeholder engagement. 21. How do you build a risk-aware culture across departments? Building a risk-aware culture across departments involves several key strategies. First, it's essential to promote open communication about risks, encouraging employees to voice concerns without fear of repercussions. Regular training sessions can help employees understand risk management principles relevant to their roles. Establishing clear risk management policies and integrating them into daily operations fosters accountability. Recognizing and rewarding proactive risk management behaviors can motivate employees to engage actively. Leadership must model risk awareness by prioritizing risk discussions in meetings and decision-making processes. 22. Have you ever disagreed with leadership about risk tolerance? What was the outcome? Disagreements on risk tolerance can arise, especially when leadership prioritizes growth over caution. In one instance, I advocated for a more conservative approach regarding a new product launch due to potential compliance risks. I presented data illustrating possible repercussions and the impact on our reputation. While leadership ultimately decided to proceed, they implemented additional oversight measures I suggested, such as regular compliance audits and risk reviews. This experience reinforced the importance of open communication and data-driven discussions in aligning risk perspectives with organizational goals. 23. How do you assess and mitigate cybersecurity risks? Assessing cybersecurity risks involves identifying potential vulnerabilities within systems, networks, and applications. This starts with conducting thorough risk assessments that analyze threats and their potential impact on the organization. Techniques such as penetration testing and vulnerability scanning can reveal weaknesses. To mitigate these risks, implementing robust security measures like firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and regular security training for employees is crucial. Developing an incident response plan ensures quick action in case of a breach. Continuous monitoring and updating security protocols are essential to adapt to evolving threats. 24. What's your approach to managing third-party, vendor risks? To manage third-party and vendor risks, I start with a thorough due diligence process, assessing potential partners based on their financial stability, compliance with regulations, and overall reputation. Once selected, I establish clear contract terms that include risk management clauses, ensuring responsibilities are well defined. Regular monitoring is essential. I implement ongoing assessments and audits to evaluate vendor performance and compliance. Additionally, I maintain open communication channels to address issues promptly. A contingency plan is also crucial in case a vendor fails to meet expectations, ensuring business continuity. 25. How would you handle a sudden operational risk, such as supply chain disruption or system failure. In managing a sudden operational risk like supply chain disruption or system failure, immediate assessment is crucial. First, I would activate the incident response plan, assembling a cross-functional team to gather information. We would identify the root cause and assess the impact on operations. Communication is key. I would inform stakeholders and keep them updated on resolution efforts. Simultaneously, alternative suppliers or backup systems would be evaluated for immediate implementation. Post-crisis, a thorough review of the incident would help refine strategies and improve resilience against future disruptions. In this video, we've explored the top 25 risk manager interview questions and their answers, equipping you with the knowledge to excel in your next interview. Understanding these questions will not only enhance your confidence but also help you demonstrate your expertise in risk management effectively. Remember, preparation is key to success. If you found this information valuable, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more insightful content. Your support helps us create more resources to assist you in your career journey.